Under mounting political pressure, South Korea's President Yoon Suk-yeol on Tuesday night declared martial law in the democratic country for the first time in nearly 50 years. His late-night pronouncement, made on national TV at 2300 local time, 1400 GMT, mentioned national security and the threat from North Korea, but it soon became clear Yoon had made this drastic move in response to a series of political setbacks. He was driven to the point of invoking martial law, temporary rule by the military, as a tactic to fend off the political attacks, observers say. But it triggered immediate protests outside Parliament, and lawmakers voted down the measure, which they said was illegal, within hours. After referring to the opposition's political attacks, President Yoon on Tuesday night said he was declaring martial law to crush anti-state forces that have been wreaking havoc. That put the military in charge temporarily, triggering the deployment of troops and police to Parliament, where helicopters were seen landing on the National Assembly's roof. The military also issued a statement declaring all gatherings by Parliament and political organization would be banned, while media publications would also fall under military control. But South Korea's political opposition immediately called Yoon's declaration illegal and unconstitutional. The leader of Yoon's own party, the Conservative People's Power Party, also called his act the wrong move. Meanwhile, main opposition leader Lee Jae-myung called on his Democratic Party MPs to converge on the parliament to vote down the declaration. He also called on ordinary South Koreans to show up at parliament in protest. Tanks, armored personnel carriers, and soldiers with guns and knives will rule the country. My fellow citizens, please come to the National Assembly. Hundreds heeded the call, rushing to gather outside the heavily guarded parliament. Crowds of protesters chanted, "No martial law! No martial law!" Local media broadcasting from the site showed some scuffles between protesters and police at the gates. But despite the heavy military presence, the tensions did not escalate into violence, and lawmakers were also able to make their way around the barricades to get into the parliamentary voting chambers. Shortly after 1 a.m. Wednesday local time, South Korea's parliament, with 190 of its 300 members present, voted down the measure. President Yoon's declaration of martial law was ruled invalid. Martial law is temporary rule by military authorities in a time of emergency when civil authorities are deemed unable to function. The last time it was declared in South Korea was in 1979, when the country's then long-term military dictator, Park Chung-hee, was assassinated during a coup. It has never been invoked since the country became a parliamentary democracy in 1987. But on Tuesday, Yoon pulled that trigger, saying in a national address he was trying to save South Korea from anti-state forces. Yoon, who has taken a noticeably more hardline stance on North Korea than his predecessors, described the political opposition as North Korea sympathizers, without giving any evidence. Under martial law, extra powers are given to the military, and there is often a suspension of civil rights for citizens and rule of law standards and protections. Yoon was voted into office in May 2022, but has been a lame duck president since April when the opposition won a landslide in the country's general election. His government since then has not been able to pass the bills they wanted, and have been reduced instead to vetoing bills passed by the opposition. He has also seen a fall in voter standing, having been mired in several corruption scandals, including one involving the First Lady accepting a Dior bag and another around stock manipulation. Just last month, he was forced to issue an apology on national TV, saying he was setting up an office overseeing the First Lady's duties. But he rejected a wider investigation, which opposition parties had been calling for. Then this week, the opposition proposed slashing budgets for his government, and budget bills cannot be vetoed. At the same time, the opposition also moved to impeach cabinet members and several top prosecutors, including the head of the government's audit agency, for failing to investigate the First Lady. Yoon's declaration caught many off guard, and it has been a fast-moving situation these past hours. But the opposition was able to congregate quickly at Parliament and had the numbers to vote down the martial law declaration. And despite the heavy presence of troops and police in the capital, a takeover by the military has, it seems, not materialized. Under South Korean law, the government must lift martial law if a majority in parliament demands it in a vote. The same law also prohibits martial law command from arresting lawmakers. It's unclear what happens now. Some of the protesters gathered outside the assembly on Tuesday night had also been shouting, "Arrest Yoon Suk-yeol." But President Yoon's rash action has stunned the country, which views itself as a thriving modern democracy that has come far since its dictatorship days. This is being viewed as the biggest challenge to that democratic society in decades. As the Speaker of Parliament said on Wednesday, "We will protect democracy together with the people." The Biden administration is monitoring the situation closely after South Korea's president imposed martial law on Tuesday, a move decried by the opposition as unconstitutional. The administration is in contact with the Republic of Korea government and is monitoring the situation closely, a National Security Council spokesperson told Anadolu on condition of anonymity, referring to South Korea by its formal acronym. The leader of the South Korean opposition, Lee Jae-myung, says, "The president's introduction of martial law is illegal, and he's now no longer the president of South Korea."
비상계엄을 선포했습니다. 비상계엄을 선포할 아무런 이유가 없습니다. 군대가 이 나라를 통치하게 내버려 둘 수는 없습니다. 검찰에 의한 이 폭력적 지배도 부족해서 총칼을 든 무장 군인들이 이 나라를 지배하려고 합니다. 그리고 국군 장병 여러분, 여러분에게 명령을 내릴 수 있는 것은 오로지 국민뿐입니다. 윤석열 대통령은 국민을 배반했습니다. 윤석열 대통령의 불법적인 비상계엄 선포는 무효입니다. 지금 이 순간부터 윤석열 대통령은 대한민국 대통령이 아닙니다.
People celebrating after South Korea's parliament blocks martial law and soldiers withdraw.
190명 전원이 찬성하여 계엄령은 폐지되었습니다.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.